Alrighty folks, want to welcome you back to another video from Yates Computers Tips and Reviews. This one's going to be kind of a bonus video for the week because I've already got one scheduled. But the announcement's out and I wanted to follow up. I know this is not, my channel does not cover a lot of gaming. So I don't cover a lot of this category, but this one is related to a video I've done last year that I've labeled it Color Wars. And there's key reasons why it's called Color Wars. You have three companies that are competing on the same products. And you'll hear about Team Blue, Team Green, Team Red. I just call it the Color Wars because it was kind of interesting because AMD did their announcement for their new CPU. And they kind of brought out the white glove and took the first swipe. Bringing out all their specs, giving you all the information. Processors are going to be out very, very soon, supposedly for everybody to buy. New motherboards, new memory, new solid state NVMe, all of these type of things that are going to be involved with this newer generation. What I thought was kind of really interesting, they brought out the second glove and slapped that one out there too. Drop the second gauntlet. With their new processor technology, they will be implementing it on their video cards. So that was a whole nother side and another realm that I thought was kind of interesting because now it's not just the CPU itself being a CPU, it's the CPU and the processor technology that will now go into the video cards also. So if you haven't seen that information, I recommend you head on over there, check all that out. Go to the AMD, YouTube, Facebook, all of that type of stuff because I can't post all of that. There's other people that really focus more in on that and go to these shows and do a lot of things and give you a lot more information on the future motherboards and future specs and future stuff. I'm not interested in gaming side. That's more towards your gaming end, your higher performance, higher end units. I'm struggling to keep information out there that people aren't covering. I want to cover the home users. I want to cover the small business users. I want to cover the standard technology. I don't want to cover these mega servers with 200 terabytes of RAM and, nobody really needs that in the real world. If you need that, that's a specialty, and that's something that, you can go watch these other people's videos. They don't mention simple small factor PCs. They don't mention standard PCs. They talk about all these custom builds with these brand new gaming cards, memory specs, all these type of things that you really don't need for a home user. But what makes it interesting to me, and a lot of people aren't really mentioning is if you have a 5-year-old computer, what the minimum specs were back then to compared to what they are now is not a little bit. It is a huge, huge gap now. Technology has jumped so fast. In here, this last presentation, talking about the nanometer sizes of the CPU. The stuff inside the CPU, where they're going to 5 and 4 nanometer. That is, to me, some crazy stuff, because I remember when they were talking about 8 and 7 and all that type of stuff, and people thought, they're never going to accomplish that. Now they're down even smaller. So, there's a difference between CPUs and what's on them. These, of course, are the pinless. These are the new modern gen. Go back, see some of my videos of the CPU. I've actually shown the CPUs that have the pins. They're bigger. I don't think I have one right here, but they were bigger CPUs. These CPUs are getting smaller and more powerful and more stronger. So I wanted to throw out this video real quick because Again, the color wars is an interesting part to gaming, not only to gaming though. If you're doing video or editing, some other software, some other things do take advantage of some of these things where you may need that higher CPU use and higher video card to render videos and edit and do other things. But at what price and at how much of an advantage does it help you is where all of these factors need to come into play. I have a video on this little mini PC I put in. It's a Celeron. And I'm doing a lot of video capturing, a lot of editing, a lot of other things on that unit today. That when I started in computers and they came out with those Celerons and they were in laptops and stuff, they were dirt slow. They were like, ooh, we stay away from that. I bought an Intel platform. It was, I believe, a 2 or 3 CPU to stay away from Celerons because they were so slow at that time when I bought my laptop. So it's kind of, to me, an amazing factor that now I'm using that to do this kind of stuff. That where before I was doing basically going online, doing Word documents, doing that type of stuff, staying away from that kind of a product. So there's a lot of technology and a lot of advancements, a lot of speeds, a lot of things that have taken place. Of course, we're not using spinning mechanical drives anymore. We're using solid state NVMe drives. I got videos on all of that. That makes a lot of this stuff different. And again, that's why I'm doing my channel and I'm doing what I'm doing, because if you had the old information, this is totally different than in the old days. If you watch a 5 or 10-year-old video, it's not current. That does not match what you would buy today in the store. So this is some of those points I wanted to bring up because not all the information may be current to you. So this is why I'm doing this. And again, I call it the color wars because you'll hear about team blue, team green, team this, team that when you start watching videos and not really understand what it is. When you hear that and you hear team blue, video card, blah, 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 or they'll talk about Intel, blah, 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 video card, and you'll see most of the time the backgrounds are those certain colors, and that's where they got the terms. So I just wanted to do a quick video because now it's 2022. The next round is coming out. You know, you have all the 30 cards. Supposedly you got the 40 cards right here around the corner. You just had the new Intel video cards that came out. Of course, you can go check out all the reviews and all of that and all the arguments and all the disputes over that. And you know, everybody says they're not worth it, blah, 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 blah. But it's an advancement. It's better than what they had. If you have an Intel board that had the older style video card and you're looking to buy a new Intel board with the newer video card on it, it's an advancement. It's going to be better than what it was. So I wanted to elaborate that because I hear a lot of negatives. Push everything down, push it down, negative, negative, negative. But you got to understand there's a lot of positives. All the technology keeps moving up. Where you were down here, if you bought something, you're not down here. If you buy a lower end model nowadays, you're not down here. You're up here. You're actually up here in technology level. There is no down here anymore. There is no really slow stuff unless you buy the old slow stuff to put in it. So, where in the old days you used to buy the more expensive, more modern, and you'd be up around here, or here, even with it, now a lot of that base point is so much higher than where you were. And I wanted it, it's kind of hard to show all that and explain that. That's why you'll see a lot of the hands and trying to break down a lot of it so people understand where the technology level's at. Now, what you would consider, oh, you wouldn't buy this for that type of product, now you might be considering it because the technology's moved on. So let me wrap this one up because just wanted to do a short bonus video. I want to welcome everybody again for watching Yates Computers Tips and Reviews. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Nobody's hitting subscribe. Got to get those subscription numbers up. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Hit the thumbs down. Leave comments. Do something. Alrighty. Thank you so much.